count the cost, count the cost, count the cost. Imagine you want to start building and you don't know, or you never knew that the foundation is the most essential part of a building. Does that make any sense? No. The Bible tells us that enthusiasm without knowledge is no good. Haste makes many mistakes. When I came across that verse, I was like, wow. And there are several other verses that points to this. We have who wants to build without first counting the cost. So many verses. He that believes doesn't make haste. Calm down. When you get that vision, when you're at the brink of making that decision, you want to start that project, calm down and count the cost. What are the things it involves? It is very important that you do this. The reason why most people, when they embark on a project, eventually stop that project is because they never counted the cost in the first place. If you counted the cost, you will not be surprised when you see certain obstacles, because you would have factored that into your planning. So whenever you have a project that you want to embark on, do this simple trick. Outline it. If it's a business that you want to build, write the name of the business. Write out all the things involved, all the stages required. But put all of these systems in place. It is not enough to say, I want to build a multi-billion-dollar business. That's vague. So write out what you want to do specifically, your why of starting that business, what you hope to accomplish, and then write out all the things that it involves. For example, the first thing you are supposed to do is to get it registered with the government. So you write it, get it registered. The second thing is to raise funds, depending on if it's capital intensive. I don't think there's any business that will not require you having some form of capital, right? So raise funds. How do you raise funds? You need to break that down. Meet so and so people, meet so and so investors, blah blah blah. The third thing is to, if it involves, say, if it's an e-commerce site, for example, write and build an e-commerce site, including the purchasing of the domain and everything. Get funds for purchasing the domain and the hosting, all of that. Get a web designer that would give you a standard web design, blah blah blah. When you do all of this, that first point, I think the first thing I mentioned was get it registered, right? What are the possible obstacles that you're going to face when you want to get that business registered? It could be that you have no money. Let's even assume that you have zero capital with you, and then that's your first step. So the first obstacle is getting funds to get it registered. The second one could be, if it's a food business, you will need it to be NAFDAC registered. All right. So the second one could be, I don't have a location. The obstacle, I'm talking about the obstacle now. The obstacle could be, I don't have a present location to have this business NAFDAC certified. A location that will be fit. The third one, when you now do all of that, just like that, at least for each of those obstacles, or for each of those steps rather, write out 3 obstacles each. So even if you have like 20 steps, write out 3 possible obstacles that you're going to meet when you want to carry out those steps. Now, when you write out the obstacles, write out the possible solutions. I promise you, and this is where thinking comes into play. Maybe I'll do an extensive video on the importance of meditation and thinking. Like this brain. When I did a study recently. Not a study, I was just doing random research or something, and I saw that the most intelligent person has only used 2% of his brain. I hope I'm talking facts now, but that's what I recall from what I read, and I was like, what? So what happened to the remaining 96 or 98% of our brain unused? A lot of people don't think. There's power in meditation, in thinking, in just concentrating your mind to focus on that problem or on that thought, on that topic. You'll be amazed the kind of ideas that you are going to get from that. Use this brain that God has given you and put all of this stuff. I just gave you practical steps to get you from being stuck. Practical steps. I am presently applying it, and I have started seeing results. Why we give up most times is because we get overwhelmed. We don't understand what we are supposed to do. The goal is vague. And if the goal is vague, of course, every other thing is going to be vague. But when you break it down this way, I assure you, you will see the steps clearly that you're supposed to take. You would identify the obstacles, the projected obstacles, and you'll be able to prefer solutions. For every obstacle, write a solution to it. Make sure that you find a solution. In fact, now we have Gemini, ChatGPT to help us, especially when you don't even know what to do. Just check what are the steps or the processes involved in building this business. You will get ideas, but make sure that you also exercise your brain. Use what God has given you. First of all, count the cost, seek knowledge, get knowledge. Get knowledge. True wisdom is a house built. By knowledge, it is established. You want that business or that project or that whatever established, get knowledge. You can't do it from an empty mind. Build yourself. So I'm building 2 websites, and I just found out that I made a mistake. It was after I started watching a particular video and I realized that, oh my God, this particular domain should not have ended with .com. It should have ended with .store, because that would place me at a higher advantage. If I had just calmed down and I had watched that video first, I wouldn't have made that mistake. Now I don't think there's any way I can change the domain name. If you know any other way, please let me know. Right? So I just thought of it. I said, I should have done this first, right, before even getting that stuff. Thankfully, I had not purchased the second domain, so I'm still safe with that. So the point of this is get all the knowledge that you can get, empower yourself so that you can be placed at a better advantage. Hi, it's Tiwa's show, and I'm all about productive living and helping you live a fulfilling life. All I'm here to do is work on your mindset and your habits. Once I get through to you, I assure you, you are going to be unstoppable. Now that you have found my channel, you don't need to be stuck, you don't need to be confused. I post 4 times every single week, starting on Tuesdays. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. If you found this very insightful, or you want me to keep dropping hints on productive living, kindly drop a comment below to further encourage this channel, and also to help the algorithm push these videos to those who need it. And hey, if you are yet to subscribe, don't be selfish. You are getting free value here. Ciao, ciao.